Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am Napoleon Hill, and tonight I want to speak directly to your soul. Not the surface of who you are, not the version you present to the world, but the quiet one behind your eyes, the one who feels deeply, the one who carries weight silently, the one who has been bruised by life but refuses to collapse. Because if you are listening to this, you are not looking for comfort. You are searching for control. You are searching for peace. You are searching for the power to walk through this chaotic world and remain unmoved. And that, my friend, begins with a single discipline of the mind learning to act as if nothing bothers you. Now, let me tell you the truth, the real truth. Life will never stop testing you. You will be misunderstood. You will be doubted. You will be criticized, rejected, ignored, betrayed, or laughed at. But the man or woman who learns to act as if nothing bothers them owns the game. Because calmness, true calmness, is not weakness. It is supreme strength. When I say, act as if nothing bothers you, I do not mean pretending or faking serenity. I mean becoming so anchored in your purpose, so rooted in your values, that nothing external can shake the internal. That is the foundation of mastery. That is where emotional freedom begins. Because let's face it, the world trains you to react. Every headline, every opinion, every post, every person pulling your attention. They want you emotional, impulsive, distracted, and fragile. But the masters, the ones who rise, the ones who build, the ones who command, they have learned something different. They have learned the art of detachment, the art of stillness in chaos, the art of acting as if nothing bothers them, not because they don't feel pain, but because they transcend it. Let me ask you, when someone disrespects you, when life blindsides you, when your plans crumble, what do? Do you flinch? Do you crumble inside? Do you let the noise control your inner world? Because if you do, understand this. The world will never stop finding ways to disturb you. And if you keep reacting, you'll keep giving away your power. So let's begin here. The first truth. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control what it creates within you. Every insult, every failure, every setback. These are not walls, they are mirrors. They show you where you are still weak. They reveal where your ego still holds control. And they whisper, grow here. The strongest people you admire are not the ones who feel nothing. They are the ones who have trained themselves to remain centered through everything. They have built an invisible armor, not of arrogance, but of awareness. And that armor is forged through experience. You cannot learn to act unbothered in theory. You must be tested. You must be challenged. You must be disappointed again and again until you finally understand that your peace is not negotiable. You see, emotional strength is not about suppression. It is about selection. You must learn to select what deserves your energy and what does not. You must learn to let go of battles that do not advance your purpose. Most people lose themselves not because they are weak, but because they give their energy to everything that doesn't matter. A stranger's comment, a mistake from the past, a fear about the future, a situation they cannot control. And so they drain themselves, little by little, until there is nothing left for the mission. You, my friend, must be different. You must learn to protect your energy like it is sacred, because it is. If you want to move through this world with strength, with grace, with power, you must train your mind to respond, not react. You must practice stillness in moments when chaos is begging for your attention. You must hold your composure when your emotions want to explode. Because that, right there, is where power is born. Now listen to me carefully. When you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you begin to rise above the noise. You stop being tossed around by every wave of emotion. You stop letting small people pull you into small problems. You begin to see things clearly. You begin to command yourself, and self-command. That is the highest form of wealth. When you master yourself, you master life. Because no storm can sink a ship whose captain is calm. So, if you want to change your life, start here. Don't fight every storm. Don't explain yourself to everyone. Don't chase validation. Don't beg for peace. Be still. Be silent. Be strategic. Be selective. Act as if nothing bothers you, not because you are numb, but because you are wise. Wisdom knows not everything deserves a reaction. Not every battle deserves your sword. Not every pain deserves your attention. Your energy is your currency. And the moment you spend it on what doesn't matter, you become poor in spirit. So what must you do? You must become internally untouchable. Let me repeat that, internally untouchable. No matter who leaves, no matter who mocks you, no matter how slow progress feels, you keep walking. You keep your eyes forward. You keep your heart clean. You keep your soul unshaken. Because the one who acts unbothered becomes unstoppable. Now I know what you're thinking, but Napoleon, what about the pain? What about the betrayals, the losses, the heartbreaks? And I'll tell you, they're real. They hurt. But they are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to purify you. Every loss teaches detachment. Every failure teaches humility. Every betrayal teaches discernment. And together these lessons create peace. Peace is not given. Peace is built. It is constructed one choice at a time, one reaction withheld, one moment of discipline when your emotions scream to be released. And here's the irony: when you stop letting everything bother you, life starts working for you. Because energy flows where attention goes. And when your attention is not chained to negativity, it is free to create, to build, to attract. That's why the truly powerful don't need to prove anything. Their silence speaks. Their composure commands. Their calmness is louder than words. They walk through fire with grace, not because the fire doesn't burn, but because they have learned how to use it. And that is your path now. You are not here to be untouched by life. You are here to become unshakable through life. You are here to develop a mind so disciplined that chaos becomes background noise. You are here to walk through judgment, noise, loss, and doubt, and still move with calm precision. You are here to learn the most sacred art of all, the art of staying centered when the world is trying to pull you apart. Remember this truth: the calmer you are, the more control you have. The louder the world gets, the quieter you must become. And the more people try to drag you into their storms, the more you must anchor yourself in peace. Because peace is your power. And power, once found, must be protected. Do not let your emotions become your master. Do not let small minds dictate your mood. Do not let temporary noise distract you from eternal purpose. Instead, breathe, observe, rise above, and smile, not because everything is perfect, but because you are in control. That is the essence of acting as if nothing bothers you. That is the first step to mastering the battlefield of the mind. And when you truly learn this, you begin to feel something deeper than happiness. You begin to feel freedom. Not freedom from problems, but freedom from the power those problems once had over you. And that, my friend, is where transformation begins. But we are only getting started, because in part 2 we go deeper. We enter the mental mechanics of emotional discipline, how to train your mind daily, how to reprogram your reactions, how to build a spirit that moves through pain and still radiates peace. So, breathe and prepare yourself, because the next step will change the way you see everything. Now that you understand the essence of peace, the truth of acting unbothered, let's go deeper. Because knowing the idea is not enough. You must embody it, you must train it, you must live it. You see, acting as if nothing bothers you isn't a trick of posture or tone. It's an evolution of your consciousness. It's a way of thinking that redefines how you experience reality itself. And that begins here: mastery over reaction. Every time something disturbs you, you are being offered a test. Not a punishment, a mirror. The world is asking, will you be ruled by emotion, or will you rule it? That's the question that separates the weak from the wise. The average mind reacts, instantly, emotionally, blindly. The disciplined mind responds, calmly, intelligently, intentionally. You cannot rise above the world until you rise above yourself. Let me say that again. You cannot rise above the world until you rise above yourself. The world mirrors your internal chaos. If you are at war within, you will see conflict everywhere. If you are calm within, you will find peace in the storm. So, the work is not to fix the outer world, The work is to command your inner world. That is the secret of all great men and women. They stopped chasing control over people, circumstances, and outcomes, and turned inward to command the only kingdom they truly owned, the mind. When you master your mind, life bends to your will, not because the world changes, but because you do. Let's talk about that control. How do you train it? How do you build that calm composure that makes people wonder what's different about you? It begins with awareness. The untrained mind reacts before it even knows it's reacting. It's triggered by noise, by opinions, by fear, by comparison. But awareness, true awareness, gives you the power to pause. And in that pause, you reclaim yourself. Between stimulus and response, there is a sacred space. And in that space lies your growth, your freedom, your destiny. That space is where you decide, do I let this control me, or do I remain centered? That is the battlefield. That is where greatness is forged, not in public, not on stages, not in applause, but in the quiet wars within your own mind. So I challenge you, the next time someone disrespects you, stay calm. The next time life blindsides you, breathe before you respond. The next time fear rises, observe it before you surrender to it. Because every time you choose stillness over reaction, you are sculpting strength. Every time you remain calm in chaos, you are building power. Understand this, calmness is not passivity. It is precision. It is the ability to move deliberately when everyone else is flailing. It is the wisdom to know what deserves your energy and what deserves your silence. People confuse noise with power. But the truth, power is always quiet. When you enter a room with calm authority, people feel it. When you speak from a place of peace, your words carry more weight. When you live from self-control, you become magnetic, because calmness is confidence, and confidence is contagious. Now, here's a truth most won't tell you. To act as if nothing bothers you, you must first accept that everything will try to. Life will not stop throwing punches. People will test your patience. Dreams will move slower than you hoped. You will fail, and sometimes you'll fail again and again. And yet, that's the path. Because resistance is not here to stop you. It's here to sharpen you. Think of a sword. It's forged by fire, pressure, and repeated strikes. So are you. Your calmness will not grow in comfort. It will grow in chaos. Your peace will not strengthen in silence. It will strengthen in storms. And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start saying, this is for me. You stop reacting like a victim, and you start responding like a creator. You realize that acting unbothered is not denial. It's dominance. Dominance over your impulses. Dominance over fear. Dominance over the illusion that anyone else controls how you feel. When you reach that level, the world can no longer touch you, because your peace is no longer conditional. People can leave. Money can come and go. Seasons can change. But your center, your inner fortress, remains. That's the mountain you are climbing, to stand in chaos and feel stillness, to walk in darkness and still radiate light, to lose yet remain unbroken. That's not just strength, that's sovereignty. Now, let's get practical. How do you train this daily? How do you build emotional armor without becoming cold or detached from life? You practice 3 disciplines. The discipline of observation. Watch your emotions without judgment. When anger rises, don't feed it. When fear appears, don't run from it. Just observe. Because the moment you observe an emotion, it loses control over you. The discipline of pause. Never react instantly. Count to 5. Breathe. Step back. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. That pause gives you control. It gives you perspective. It gives you power. The discipline of focus. Choose what deserves your attention. 90% of the noise around you is meaningless. The masters don't respond to everything. They focus only on what serves their purpose. Remember this, your energy is finite. Every reaction costs you focus, time, and peace. Spend it wisely. Stop giving emotional credit to things that won't matter in a week. Stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Stop letting temporary people disturb your eternal mission. You are not here to chase distractions. You are here to build discipline. discipline in thought, discipline in reaction, discipline in peace. And once that discipline is in place, once calmness becomes your instinct, the world begins to shift around you. You will notice that situations that once triggered you now feel small. You will notice that people who once drained you no longer affect you. You will notice that the same storms that used to break you now pass through you like wind through stone. Because when you act as if nothing bothers you, you stop feeding the fire. And what you stop feeding fades. This is the secret. The world only has power over you if you keep reacting to it. But once you rise above reaction, once you learn to sit in stillness, you become untouchable. And from that stillness, your true strength is born. I want you to remember something tonight. A line that will echo through every test, every challenge, every storm you face. The calm mind is the master mind. That's not just a quote. It's a law. When you are calm, you can see. When you are calm, you can hear. When you are calm, you can create. When you are calm, you can win. Because success is not built by those who shout the loudest. It's built by those who stay composed the longest. Every great empire was built by minds that refused to panic. Every great leader carried serenity in chaos. Every great creator learned to breathe through the storm, and so must you. You must train your peace like a muscle. Feed it daily. Guard it fiercely. Honor it as your most precious treasure. Because when you lose your peace, you lose your power. But when you hold your peace, you become unstoppable. Now, I know, it's easier said than done, but that's why this path is for the few. That's why this message finds you now. Because your soul is ready for more. Ready to rise above triggers. Ready to outgrow chaos. Ready to master the battlefield within. So tonight, make yourself a promise that from this day forward, you will not be ruled by emotion. You will not be enslaved by noise. You will not let temporary storms steal your eternal calm. You will act as if nothing bothers you. Not to pretend, not to hide, but to claim your throne. Because the moment you stop chasing reactions, you start walking in power. And that power, that stillness, is what will carry you through everything that's coming next. Because in part 3, we go further. We step into the higher dimension of emotional mastery, where peace becomes influence and calmness becomes a weapon of leadership. This next part is not about surviving chaos, it's about commanding it. So stay with me, breathe deeply, and prepare to become unshakable. Now you've felt the stillness. You've tasted the quiet power that comes when you refuse to be moved by the noise of the world. But now it's time to rise higher, because peace, true peace, was never meant to be passive. It is active dominance over chaos. It is leadership of the self, so complete that others begin to feel safer, calmer, and stronger simply by standing near your presence. And that is the next level. The level of command. You see, when you truly learn to act as if nothing bothers you, the shift doesn't just happen within you. It begins to happen around you. The energy you carry becomes order in the middle of disorder. Your calmness begins to influence rooms before you even speak. Because real power is never loud, it is felt. That's the paradox of mastery. The quieter you become, the more people listen. The stiller you are, the more the world begins to move in your rhythm. And the stronger your self-command becomes, the less you have to command anything at all. This is where peace turns into presence. You have seen people like this. They walk in, and the atmosphere changes. They don't shout, they don't demand, they simply are. Their energy says, I am unmoved, I am aligned, I am in control. That is the vibration of someone who has mastered the art of acting as if nothing bothers them. Because nothing within them is unsettled. So let's talk about that level of self-possession. Let's talk about how to walk through the world as a calm commander of energy, not a slave to it. The secret is this: you must become emotionally sovereign. Emotional sovereignty means you no longer allow other people's moods to rewrite your state. It means your happiness is not dependent on approval. Your peace is not dependent on outcomes. Your worth is not dependent on validation. It means you own your emotions. They no longer own you. This is where average ends and mastery begins. Because most people are emotional followers. They follow the tone of the room. They follow the opinions of others. They follow the rise and fall of their circumstances like leaves blown by the wind. But you must become the wind itself. You must set the tone. You must be the thermostat, not the thermometer. A thermometer reflects the temperature of its surroundings. A thermostat creates it. And that's what emotional leaders do. They create the frequency they wish to experience. They don't wait for peace to appear, they project it. They don't hope for strength, they radiate it. They don't chase calm, they command it. This is how the unbothered mindset becomes power. Because once you no longer flinch, the world begins to respect your presence. Not through fear, through energy. Understand this deeply. When you stop overreacting, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. People can manipulate those who react, but they cannot manipulate those who remain composed. Your calm confuses control. Your stillness disarms conflict. Your peace becomes protection. That is how you win the unseen war, not by shouting louder, but by standing firmer. Now let me tell you something that few ever learn. The way you carry yourself in chaos teaches the world how to treat you. If you panic when things fall apart, life will keep sending you situations that make you panic. If you complain when challenged, you attract more challenges. But if you remain unbothered, if you stand firm in faith, discipline, and clarity, you teach the universe, I cannot be shaken. And life begins to respect you for it. Because the universe doesn't respond to emotion, it responds to energy. Emotion is noise, energy is vibration. The calm mind vibrates higher, and that high vibration pulls opportunity, clarity, and strength into your life. This is the hidden truth behind success. Calmness is not only spiritual, it's strategic. You make better decisions when you're calm. You hear the truth beneath the noise when you're calm. You see possibilities that fear would have hidden from you. The mind in panic sees limitation. The mind in peace sees solution. That's why Napoleon Hill said, think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another. He knew. The words born from peace are sharper than the words born from anger. When your emotions are stable, your influence multiplies, because people can sense authenticity. They can feel when your calm comes from true confidence, not pretense. They can feel when your silence is power, not passivity. And they can feel when your composure is a choice, not a mask. That's when you become magnetic. That's when people begin to follow, not because you asked them to, but because your energy invites them. Now, let's talk about how to stay in that vibration when the world shakes. Because no matter how strong you are, life will still test your boundaries. Pain will still knock at your door. And sometimes your old habits, the ones that crave reaction, will try to return. That's when you must remember this law. Never break character. The calm, focused, grounded version of you, that is your character. The emotional, reactive version, that's your conditioning. And every challenge is a test to see which one you choose. When life pushes you, you must remember, I have trained for this. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be present. And presence is the ultimate superpower. Because presence means your awareness stays in the now, not in what happened yesterday, not in what might happen tomorrow, but here. And in this moment, nothing is unbearable. In this moment, nothing can defeat you. It's only when you live in reaction to the past or in fear of the future that you lose control. So, train yourself to return, again and again, to this moment. Breathe, observe, command. You will notice something miraculous. The more you practice presence, the less the world can disturb you, because you realize that the storm is never outside, it's inside. When you calm the storm within, even chaos becomes your classroom. That's why masters don't run from pain. They study it. They don't avoid discomfort. They use it. They turn every disturbance into discipline. And that's the alchemy of life, turning every trigger into training. When you feel tension, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me about control? When you feel anger, ask, what illusion of power am I clinging to? When you feel hurt, ask, what expectation have I built that's not aligned with reality? Every emotion becomes a messenger. Every disturbance becomes a teacher. You are no longer at war with your emotions. You are in conversation with them. That's the difference between a warrior and a wise one. A warrior fights their emotions. A wise one learns from them, then decides who's in charge. And let me tell you this, once you reach that stage, peace becomes your default. You don't have to act unbothered anymore. You are unbothered. You've rewired your nervous system. You've trained your emotional intelligence. You've silenced the noise that once controlled you. And from that stillness, you begin to create, because creativity flows where calmness lives. Ideas, visions, and inspiration need silence to grow. And when your mind is calm, it becomes the perfect vessel for divine intelligence to move through. That's why the great inventors, thinkers, and leaders in history all cultivated solitude and silence, not to escape the world, but to hear it more clearly. Your calmness connects you to the infinite. Your stillness opens the channel between your mind and the universal mind. That's when you stop acting as if nothing bothers you, because nothing truly does. That's when faith replaces fear. That's when purpose replaces reaction. That's when alignment replaces anxiety. And that is the peace of mastery. But make no mistake, this is not the end. Because peace is not a destination, it is a weapon. And in part 4 we enter the final ascent, the stage where calmness becomes power in motion, where stillness transforms into influence, creation, and unstoppable movement, where you don't just act unbothered, you lead through it. So stay with me. The final part will bring everything together. The transformation, the awakening, and the command that will make you truly untouchable. And now we arrive at the final ascent, the place where stillness turns into strength, where composure becomes command, where you no longer just act as if nothing bothers you. You embody it, you live it, you breathe it, because this is not just a mindset, it is a transformation of your entire being. You see, the goal was never to become emotionless. It was to become emotionally invincible, to walk through storms not untouched, but unchained, to feel deeply and still remain in control, to see the chaos and whisper to yourself, I am still. That is true power. That is divine mastery. Because here's the secret few ever understand. The greatest warriors are not the loudest on the battlefield. They are the ones who move with quiet certainty. They are the ones whose heartbeat remains steady even as the world burns. They have learned that real strength is not in force, it is in focus. It is not in reaction, it is in restraint. It is not in noises, it is in knowing. And when you live from that place, you no longer chase peace, peace chases you, because your energy becomes undeniable. Your frequency becomes rare, and your presence becomes medicine in a world that's addicted to chaos. So now we rise into the final transformation, from internal peace to external power. Listen carefully. When you truly master your emotions, something incredible happens. You stop being affected by life and start affecting life. Your calmness begins to influence reality itself. That's not philosophy, that's physics. Your vibration sets the tone of your world. When you are angry, you magnetize conflict. When you are anxious, you attract confusion. But when you are calm, deeply calm, you draw order, clarity, and alignment. The world reorganizes itself around your state of being. So if you want power, control, abundance, start with peace. Because peace is the origin of all creation. You cannot build from chaos. You cannot manifest from fear. You cannot lead from reaction. Everything powerful you will ever create begins from stillness. That is why great leaders pause before they speak. Why visionaries retreat into solitude. Why the wise remain unmoved when others crumble. Because they know clarity cannot exist in noise, and truth cannot live in panic, so they cultivate silence, they honor it, they protect it. That silence becomes their sanctuary, their meeting place with the infinite. In that stillness, you realize something profound. You were never trying to control the world. You were learning to master your response to it. You see, peace doesn't mean everything is calm around you. It means you are calm within yourself no matter what's around you. And when you reach that place, nothing external can shake your internal. That's when the world starts asking, what is it about you? Why do you never break? Why do you always seem steady? And you'll smile, not with arrogance, but with understanding, because you'll know they are seeing the reflection of your inner kingdom. But let's take this further. The unbothered mindset is not just about enduring life. It's about elevating through it. It's about walking into adversity and transmuting it into wisdom. It's about turning judgment into understanding, failure into focus, rejection into redirection. Everything that once tried to shake you now shapes you. Because when you act as if nothing bothers you, consistently, consciously, powerfully, you are telling life, I am ready. Ready to handle success without arrogance. Ready to face failure without despair. Ready to move through uncertainty without losing your center. You become an instrument of balance in a world built on extremes. And that balance is magnetic. People will feel it. They will sense it. Because calm energy stands out in a world addicted to chaos. Your peace becomes your presence. Your restraint becomes your respect. Your focus becomes your fortress. And when you lead with that, you lead effortlessly. Because leadership is not control, it is influence. And influence is born from energetic consistency. The one who is calm, patient, and unshakable commands trust. And trust is the currency of power. That's why this teaching, act as if nothing bothers you, is not about pretending. It's about training your nervous system to trust you. Your body must know that no matter what happens, you will remain steady. Your mind must know that chaos cannot consume you. Your soul must know that you are safe within yourself. That's the highest state of freedom, to be safe within your own presence. When you trust yourself at that level, life bends to your command, because you are no longer driven by impulse. You are guided by intention. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer fight, you flow. This is the frequency of mastery, and from here, your power expands in silence. You begin to notice how little you need to prove, how little you need to defend, how little you need to explain, because peace becomes your proof, consistency becomes your credibility, stillness becomes your statement. You stop chasing energy and start generating it. You realize that the most powerful person in the room is not the one who talks the most. It's the one who doesn't need to, because silence backed by confidence is louder than noise backed by insecurity. And when you reach that level of calm confidence, your energy shifts everything it touches. Your business changes. Your relationships transform. Your vision becomes sharper. Because clarity and calmness walk hand in hand. Now listen closely as we close this journey. There will come moments when your strength is tested. When you are misunderstood, misjudged, mistreated. When people provoke you just to see if they still can. And in those moments, do not shrink. Do not lash out. Do not explain yourself to those committed to missing the point. Instead, remember who you are. You are the calm in the chaos. You are the eye in the storm. You are the steady hand that builds when others break. You are proof that peace is not weakness. It is power perfected. And the moment you choose calmness over chaos, you win a battle most will never even see. Because you're not just living differently. You're vibrating differently. And the world must now meet you at your new frequency. That's the secret. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. So be peace, be strength, be stillness in motion, and watch as life rearranges itself to match your calm command. My friend, hear this final truth. You will never have full control of what happens outside you. But you can always control the meaning you give it. And meaning is everything. Every test can be either torture or training, depending on what you decide it means. So when life shakes you, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this making me? And the answer will always be stronger, wiser, calmer, freer. That's what this journey has been about. Not escaping emotion, but elevating through it. Not pretending not to feel, but refusing to fall apart. Not acting unbothered for show, but becoming unbothered in truth. You now carry a strength that the world cannot take, because it no longer comes from the world. It comes from within. So walk forward with peace in your eyes and power in your silence. Let others rush, rage, and react. You will move with patience, purpose, and precision, because you, my friend, have learned to act as if nothing bothers you. And in doing so, you have become unshakable. Final affirmations, speak them aloud. I am calm under pressure. I am grounded in peace. I am in control of my emotions. I do not chase, I attract. I do not react, I respond. I do not fear chaos, I command it. My silence holds strength. My calmness holds power. My peace is my protection. I am unbothered, unbreakable, unstoppable. And with that, your transformation begins. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Because calmness is not what happens after the storm. It is who you become within it. And now you have become it.